Okay, if you're a dungeon master, you absolutely know this feeling. We've all been there, right? You set up this perfect clue, this crucial piece of the puzzle, and then you just have to sit there and watch as your players walk right past it. It is, without a doubt, one of the most frustrating things about running a game. So today, let's dig into why this happens and, way more importantly, what we can actually do to fix it.
Yeah, this is that moment, right? The one that makes you want to just tear your hair out. It feels like a total failure on your part. Or maybe that your players just aren't engaging with the world. But what if I told you it's not actually their fault? What if the problem is somewhere else entirely?
And here's the uncomfortable truth. The problem isn't that your players are bad at listening. Nope. It's that we, as dungeon masters, we often accidentally teach them to ignore the very things we desperately want them to see. This isn't a player issue, it's a design issue.
I mean, when your players miss that big clue, our brains immediately jump to these conclusions, don't they? It feels kind of personal. We think, oh, the problem is definitely on their side of the screen. But here's the thing. These assumptions, they're almost always wrong. And they're what's stopping us from seeing what's really going on.
Okay, so what is actually happening? If they're not distracted, if they're not ignoring you on purpose, then what is going on inside their heads? Well, the answer comes down to one single, really powerful cognitive process. It's called filtering, and every single player at your table is doing this constantly, whether they realize it or not. Think about it. They just can't process every word you say with equal importance. Their brains are working overtime, trying to be a bouncer at a club, deciding what information gets in and what gets left out. Just try to imagine everything a player is juggling in their head at any given moment. You've got the rules of the game, their character's massive list of abilities, what every other player is doing, the story so far, oh, and on top of all of that, they're probably cooking up some secret clever plan of their own. It is an absolutely overwhelming amount of information.
So, to manage all that cognitive load, their brain is subconsciously asking this one question over and over and over. What am I supposed to care about right now? And if your clue doesn't provide a really clear, immediate answer to that question, poof, it gets filtered out. It's not malicious, it's just a mental survival mechanism.
And this, right here, is the absolute root of the problem. We deliver a world-shattering, plot-critical clue with the exact same tone of voice we use to describe the color of the tavern drapes. And when everything sounds the same, your players have no other choice but to treat all of it like background noise. Which brings us to this idea of signal versus noise. A signal, that's the good stuff. It's the information that practically jumps off the table and screams, "Pay attention to me, this matters!" Noise, well, noise is just everything else. And the classic mistake we all make is trying to fix a weak signal by just adding more noise. You know, describing that unimportant detail for the fifth time. Let's look at a perfect example of this. On one hand, you could say, the room contains a desk, a chair, a bookshelf, and a cracked mirror. Okay, the mirror is just one more thing on a laundry list of stuff. It's pure noise. But what if you said, the room is ordinary, except for one thing. The mirror is cracked, and someone clearly tried to hide it. See the difference? The delivery itself creates the signal. That little bit of implication is what makes everyone lean in.
And this is so crucial to get. Players don't remember stuff just because it's logically important to your brilliant plot. No way. They remember it because you frame it with emotional or mechanical importance. It's the emphasis that makes it stick in their brain.
So, what does that emphasis actually look like in a game? Well, these are some of the most powerful signals you've got. A strong NPC reaction, like a gasp. Players notice that. Repetition, but with a new twist each time. They'll notice that. An immediate consequence for ignoring something? Oh, you better believe they will notice that next time.
This is exactly why just repeating, "Hey guys, the mirror is cracked," over and over doesn't work. It's still just noise. Instead, you need a progression, an escalation. The first time, it's just a description. The second time, an NPC acts weird around it. That's an implication. The third time, magic bounces off it wrong. Now it's a consequence. See? That's how you build real importance over time.
All right, let's zoom in on what is maybe your single most powerful signal tool, your NPCs. Seriously, the way a non-player character reacts to something will teach your players what's important faster and more effectively than 1,000 words of your most beautiful description. Think about a line like this. An NPC leans in and whispers, "We shouldn't be talking about this here." That one sentence is pure gold. It instantly transforms some boring piece of information into a vital, dangerous secret. That is a signal that is physically impossible for players to ignore.
Okay, let's talk about a really common trap that so many of us fall into. We hide a critical piece of information behind a single dice roll, a perception check or something. And that is a huge, huge gamble, because if that player fails that one roll, your entire clue, your signal, it never even goes off, and the whole adventure can just grind to a dead stop.
So here's the mental shift you need to make. From now on, roles should deepen understanding. They should not unlock awareness. The players should notice that something is off for free. The cracked mirror, the nervous guard, they get that automatically. The dice roll is what they use to figure out why it's weird, not that it's weird. You have to remember, at the end of the day, players aren't asking what information is here. What they're really asking is, what decision does this point me toward? If a piece of info doesn't help them decide where to go, who to trust, or what to do next, it just fades into the background. Your clues have to feel like they're pointing toward real choice. So how do we actually fix this? It comes down to 3 basic steps. 1. Separate your flavor from your function. Use your tone of voice, use pauses to signal when something is important. 2. Attach information to consequences. Show the effect of a clue and show it quickly. And 3. Let them discover importance through interaction. Trust me, when they touch that weird mirror and a ghost flies out, they are never going to forget that clue.
So here's the big takeaway. Please stop blaming your players. They aren't missing the information because they're bad at the game. They're responding perfectly to how the game has trained them to listen. If everything you say sounds the same, then nothing is ever going to stand out. And that's the ultimate shift in your mindset. Your job isn't just to be a narrator, dumping buckets of information on the table. Your job is to be a designer, carefully choosing how to signal what truly matters. Your job isn't to say more, it's to signal better. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's the most important game-changing clue your players ever just completely walk past? Go back and think about that moment, but this time look at it through this lens of signal versus noise. You might be surprised at what you find.